Hi, my name is Tina Von Hatten and this here is Meaningful Explorations, and today I'm going to give you an honest review of the Magicfly Auto Egg Incubator. So in case you're new here and you're just coming here for the incubator review, welcome. First off, I just want to give you a little background information. We're new homesteaders. We just moved out to the country about 3 months ago, a little over 3 months ago, and we jumped in both feet. We got the house set up and then we bought some chickens. We got a coop given to us for those chickens, and then we built another coop, and then we got more chickens, and then hubby got me an incubator for Christmas, and we tried it out pretty much right away, right after Christmas. So we started the eggs on, I think it was New Year's Eve, and yeah, they just hatched a few days ago, and so now I think I can give you a good review of this incubator now that I've used it for one time anyway. And yeah, so we're new homesteaders, we're a large family, we have 8 children. And this homesteading life is something we've been dreaming about for a really, really long time. I grew up on a farm, and so I'm kind of glad to be back out in the country and doing all those things. I never grew up with chickens, and so I'm just gonna, put that out there first. I've never done this before, but I love researching, and I love reading. So I've been reading and researching all the things homestead for years, and now I'm putting them into use. So let's get to the review. So like I said, we're gonna review here the Magicfly Auto Egg Incubator. It's also known as the Janoel 12. It's just, this one is with the yellow, and then the Janoel 12 is with the black on the top. It's, I think, the same incubator. So first things first, I hatched successfully 4 chicks out of 8 eggs. I originally put 8 eggs in this incubator on New Year's Eve, and a few days ago we hatched out 4 out of those 9. Now I'll tell you what happened to those other ones and why I think that happened, but I wanted to lead off as well with this book here. It's called Hatching and Brooding Your Own Chicks. I followed the directions as per this book, as well as somebody in a Facebook group that lives in my area who's hatched thousands of eggs. She had like a really detailed how to do this if you're using an incubator, and it didn't matter which incubator and which temperatures to set and how to do it, and what to look for with the eggs, not to clean them, etc., etc., etc. It was basically the same instructions as this book. So if you're brand new to incubating, I would recommend this. I mean, it helped me a lot. The other thing that really helped me with, before I get to the review of the actual incubator, there are images in here of what the chicken eggs are supposed to look like at the different parts of its development. So as you can see here, this really helped when I was candling the eggs to see what I was supposed to see at which stage we were on. So like I said, this book is a must, I believe, if you're going to be doing any incubating. So to this incubator, it is also known as the Janoel 12 because it supposedly holds 12 eggs. So it has this top part here. It has an auto turner. So that's this thing here hooks into this thing over here, and it automatically turns the eggs. And I'll show you how that works in a second. It comes with instructions that are basically junk. I say that because everywhere I've read, people who've done incubating before, books I've read, all said to set your incubator at 99.5 Fahrenheit. This incubator in particular runs on Celsius. So you have to, what I did was converted it and then put it to the equivalent of 99.5 in here to set it up. I think it was 37.5 or 37.3. I can't remember. It was an odd number. It comes with a plug. This here, this is for, and it has these plastic dividers, and this is the egg turner, and you put the dividers in depending on how many eggs you have. So if you were using quail eggs, you would be able to put in more dividers. I don't know why I don't know. I only used a couple of them. and I did, like I said, 9 chicken eggs. There, I can't get them even now, but you get the idea. I think I might have only used, no, I used 2 of them. There we go. So I put 3, 3, and 3. And then this is the automatic egg turner. It's a forced air incubator, in case you're wondering. There are ones with forced air, and then there's ones with still air. This is a forced air incubator. The fan is actually quite loud. There's this rack here with the sliding piece. I don't have it in there right, but the sliding piece. And then there's a piece on the bottom with little legs. And then it's like a bowl, essentially. So you set this all up like so. And it says to put in there 60 mils of water, which in my opinion was too much, because when I set my incubator up, I did let it run about 36 hours before I actually put eggs in it to make sure I could keep the temperature and humidity stable. And it has no humidity reader. So if you don't have a humidity reader, you're just guessing. You're just following the instructions, putting 60 mils in there. I think it said every second day. And yeah, I did that, and I got a little humidity reader that I just popped in here. Now, if I were to do this again, I would get one with a probe, but this is just a simple humidity reader. Put it in there, and it kept track more or less. I don't know how accurate it is, to be honest, but it was telling me something. I added water, the humidity went up, water ran out, humidity went down. So there's that. There's no humidity reader, there's no hygrometer in it. So you're really guessing if you don't have one. Like I said, put this in here, and if I had followed the instructions like I did in the setup and let it run for a couple days, the instructions told you to put 60 mils of water in there, 60 to 100 mils of water in there, and I had humidity levels that were dangerously high for eggs. It would have killed the chicken eggs. I don't know what it's supposed to be for duck or quail or geese or any other fowl, because I just was focusing on chicken. So for chicken, it's supposed to be between 45 and 65% humidity, unless you're doing a dry hatch. But this book doesn't talk about that, and I'm not going to go into details because I didn't do that. I did a wet hatch, 45 to 65 degrees. At the very most is, humidity. It should be probably closer to 45 to 55. I put 60 mils in there and it went over 75. So that's the thing. If you didn't know and you just followed the instructions, you would probably be killing your embryos. So I started out with 9 eggs. I didn't candle them before because I had ordered a candler and it wasn't there. So I figured it would be there by day 5 or day 6. It wasn't there, so I used my cell phone, a coffee lid, and some plasticine. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what I did to candle the eggs. And it did an okay job, but I missed one egg that wasn't fertile. One definitely wasn't fertile that I saw wasn't fertile. There was nothing happening on day 5. There was nothing. I took that egg out, so I had 8 eggs left. Out of those 8 eggs, at about I candled them around day 14. They had stopped developing around day 11 or 12. Like I consulted the book here, and it looked like they were too small. I had opened them up. I saw a blood ring. You can look that up if you want to, but that's an indicator that something went wrong and the embryo died. So I had 2 die around day, probably I think around day 11 or 12 when I candled on day 14. Day 18, I had 6 eggs left. So like I said, 1 infertile and 2 that were dead. So those are gone. So I had 6 left in here. And of those 6, I got 4 chicks. One of the chicks died right before, it must have died close to hatch, because when I checked the egg at the end, I poked a little hole in the end, because you can poke a hole in the end if they're not getting enough oxygen, and that can give them enough oxygen to pip on their own, but it never did. And the other egg, finally my candler did arrive after the 21 days. The candler arrived, and I candled it, and it didn't look like it developed at all. Like, I don't even think it was fertile. I cracked it open, it stank to high heaven. So yeah, it was gross. But so just to make sure nothing had developed. So I had only had 7 eggs that were viable in the first place. And of those 7 eggs, I hatched 4, and 2 died midway through the 21 days, and one died right at the hatch. The one thing I'm gonna say is that the humidity thing is tricky. When the 2 chicks hatched on the first day, they had been in there for the whole day, pretty much, I think about 10 or 12 hours, and then I made the executive decision to pull them out. They were knocking all the other eggs all over the place, so I pulled them out and I put them in the brooder. And then the next morning, the next one hatched, and I left it in there. No, actually, no, that's not true. The 2 hatched in the morning and the 1 hatched at the night time. I had already taken the other 2 out, and then the next one pipped. I'm assuming once it stopped getting knocked around, it could pip on its own. It pipped that night. I left it in overnight, pulled it out, put it in the brooder in the morning, and then after I'd done that, the final one that was gonna hatch hatched. So if you want to see how that all looks and in here, you can check out the hatching video. I have a video of how the chicks hatched. And I really wish that the plastic here had been clear, because it's not bad to look at, but I have lots of little kids, so they wanted to see, and everybody wanted to see, and it wasn't the greatest. They could actually see better when I was filming it, to see through the camera than through the plastic itself. So that being said, if you're wanting it for observation purposes, I really wish it was clear. It's not bad, but it is what it is. So like I said, I got 4 chicks out. The last 2 then I, investigated after leaving them in there a decent amount of time. But between day 1 and day 2 of the hatching, so the day 21 when the 2 hatched in the morning and the 1 hatched in the evening, that night before the 4th chick hatched, I dropped from 75%, 65 to 75% is what I was keeping it at for the hatch. It dropped down to 30%, and I think that's what killed the last one that was fully developed but didn't pip. I think that's what killed it, because the humidity just dropped, and there was enough water in there and everything when I went to bed, and when I woke up in the morning, it was like, I was surprised that the 4th one actually hatched, because they were done, they were goners. So it does not maintain humidity well, and you would not have known that. Like, I wouldn't have known that without the hygrometer, and it's not even, I don't think, a very good one, to be honest. Like, it did its job. It told me it was going up, told me it was going down, but I don't know how accurate it was. And if I were to do it all over again, I think I would want to have one with a probe in it, to make sure to keep track of temperature and as well the humidity. That's the huge downfall in this. Now, I've seen other videos where people did duck eggs, or reviews on Amazon, they did duck eggs. They need a higher humidity from what I understand, and it's really good for the duck eggs. I can't say, because I haven't hatched any duck eggs, I don't have ducks yet, but for the chicken eggs, I think it's, it's touch and go. If you have the time and the energy to babysit this thing and really get on top of how much humidity is in there and make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do when it's supposed to do, then I think it's a great little incubator for just trying it out. The other thing that's tricky is getting this little piece to go in exactly where it's supposed to go. And the other thing is the fan in here is pretty loud, but you just have to plug this thing in here, and you plug it in the wall outlet, and it does its thing. I mean, it heats inside up. You have to baby it. You have to put water in it not quite as often as I thought you would have to. Like, definitely not as much as it said in the instructions manual. It was not every other day. I think sometimes I went 3 or 4 days without putting any water in at all. So definitely, if you're going to use this thing for chicken eggs, I would highly recommend getting some kind of hygrometer to go in there to make sure you're not just, and I would never put it at 38 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than anywhere I've ever read for that. So that being said, I've heard before that the instruction manual is rubbish. I would try it again, but somebody was looking for a small incubator to try it out, so I decided I'm going to sell it. I'm going to get another incubator, and I'm going to try it. It's a larger incubator, has great reviews, and see how that goes. It's got clear plastic. It's the Nurture Right 360. I'm going to try that out and see how that goes. But as far as this goes, if you want just a little incubator and you don't care if any hatch or just a couple hatch, and you have the time to constantly check on the humidity and all that kind of stuff, then this is a great little thing. I'm sure you can get a really great hatch rate if you have, you know, good eggs and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, they weren't my eggs, they were from another farm. I had to travel to get them. And so I was about an hour drive there and back. So I don't know, and I don't know exactly how many days old they were. She'd been collecting them over a few days for me specifically. So that said, there are variables in, you know, hatch rate and how that things go, but I'm happy I got 4. I mean, I didn't do everything wrong. So that's great. We've got 4 little chicks. Check out the video. They're the cutest little things ever. And yeah, if you want to see the new review on that other incubator, let me know. If you have a favorite incubator that you swear by, let me know. Write down in the comments. I'm always looking for, you know, suggestions and ideas on how to learn new things. That's what we're all about, meaningful explorations. We explore all kinds of different things, we learn all kinds of things, and now we're homesteading and doing all the homesteady things, and we'll be building lots and doing lots. We've got a coop to build. Right now we have chicks and a brooder. We have 12 of them. I'm getting some turkey poults on the weekend, and we're just gonna keep growing and growing and raising these little chicks, and if we have too many, then we'll sell some, and hopefully, you know, they'll be feeding our family for a good long time to come. So, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.